they have improved dramatically with each relationship.
Are we live?
Of alignment.
Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me all right.
Sex drive and intimacy. So many things have leveled with each of those long-term relationships. However, number 3, my thing that I've learned is just because my relationships got better, the long-term relationships got better over time, it didn't mean I would repeat old mistakes and patterns and habits again in my dating life between those relationships. So meaning, even though after my second long-term relationship, even though it was super healthy and I learned a lot, that period of time between meeting my now partner, I had to go through number 2. I did a lot of nuts. I repeated a lot of the same mistakes that I did in the past. And this actually, I believe to be normal because it's natural to be a bit rusty when you've been out dating game for a while. And it really is art form in a different way of communicating than, say, when you're in a long-term relationship with more walls are down and you're willing to be vulnerable. So, with that said, I have learned to be compassionate with myself in moments when I didn't speak my truth, or I betrayed what I really wanted to do in the moment, or I betrayed my no. There was a lot of moments of that in my relationships where I didn't honor what was true. And it caused a lot of resentment, it caused a lot of hurt on both ends. So, with that said, I would beat myself up after those moments of, why haven't I learned this yet? Why am I repeating these same mistakes? That's where I learned to be compassionate with myself in those moments. And I encourage you to do the same, especially if you're stumbling in your dating life in between relationships. Just be compassionate. It's like riding a bike. Number 5. Ooh, this is a juicy one that a lot of people talk about. Being discernment about your flags. Green flags, yellow and red flags. Be discerning. And what I mean by that is you want to start to recognize what really is a red flag for you versus are you actually being initiated or challenged because it's what you want all along and it feels stretchy and it feels scary and it's challenging you and it's unfamiliar. So it was up to me to distinguish, is this a red flag or is this just me and my energy coming up? Is this just me and my own triggers and challenges? And that's where I had to really get questioning about that. Because what I deemed in the beginning of my dating life, my now partner, as red or yellow flags, I could have easily dropped it because of those couple things. And who knows where I would be today, but I sure as hell would be the most healthy piece of partnership of my life. I'll tell you that. So, yes, hi, I go live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central, time frame. And next point I'm going to make, number 6. Oh, this was the hardest one for me, and this is exactly the work I do today to help women with, which is being vulnerable and truthful from day 1 when you were getting to know someone. Because in my own personal experiences meeting my clients, the consequences that go so far as threatening your safety, which I've experienced firsthand, and that's just not okay. We can put up with, to a certain extent, appeasing people and pushing things under the rug. in my own safety. So these are easy to just this hole or if I can get out. I believe that can be true for a lot of people.
Are we live, Jeff? Can you hear me? No. I agree with that, Jeff. That is videos. I can try to list Just doesn't seem to be any way around the filters, man. They got no love. Set that a little different. See if it has any influence. Looks like it might work. Imagine the currents of ether swirling around me right now. .com. Then we'll open the mystery box. That will be fun. There we go. Goal for today's transmission. $100. And we open the Panda box and see what's inside. I'll put that up on the. Don't worry, Jeff. Don't be making me laugh, Jeff. Yeah, no, do make me laugh. That's good stuff. What is that, man? I didn't even type that correctly. I couldn't see it clearly, man. Goal for today. Ooh. Today's transmission. $100. Something else, because the internet connection is strong. It's they're playing games with me, man. They're playing games with me. Always are. 주띵한 말썽포화된손 주띵한 말썽포화된손 주띵한 말썽포화된손
Communicate in an open way. It's all just going to crumble. In the end, it's a house of cards. And you might have fleeting moments of fun, spicy, exciting connection. Like, I'm an energetic blueprint.
What do you think about
So
orgasms?
for me, can cause so it can be that regard, because that is such a juicy thing to explore and it's so empowering. Number 15, this one was actually what catapulted me into this journey. And this is but essentially I had an abnormal pap smear test and I had to do the second procedure, which left me I said too much to get into right now, and it's a bit heavy of a topic, so I will save that for another time and please a trigger warning just in case, so then I could really fully go into that. However, what I will say about that point, the reason I say I have more power to heal myself than the medical industry ever could is because I had no choice but to do that. I kept having to go back to the doctors to see what was wrong, and they were like, "Oh, just be abstinent, just be abstinent." They never really had any solution for me, and I was abstinent for a long time, in which it didn't solve the problem. It wasn't until I embarked on my sensual and sexual / erotic journey of sexual healing and embodiment that finally did heal, and it was from within. So that story again, another time to go deeper. Number 16, it's ultimately my responsibility to understand my body's cues and signals, and then to communicate those to my partner. So when you're being intimate with a partner, pay attention. Is your body ready to receive even just touch? Never mind penetration. And what body parts are saying yes? What body parts are saying no, or not quite yet? Or we need it's the truth because I know from experience. It only makes
um, evil energy and the world is all the other ships will look to you for leadership. They will envy you. And do everything it takes to achieve that. Remember, the North Star is always the true guide. So even in the darkest night, you can see the faint light of the North Star, Polaris. Imagine the currents of aether right now swirling around me in tiny little vortices, dancing and playing, humming, whirling within all dimensions, through all directions. Forward goes some great shit right here. Uh,
You're teaching your body. This isn't.
Oh, I know you are. Yeah, teach your body, baby. Midterms, okay.
Life. But once you start to create, develop those new neural pathways to pleasure.
Oh yeah, I got neural pathways to pleasure, sweetheart. Monsieur Tiedrick out in Happy Land says that the midterms are coming up, and he's hearing that lockdowns and fake mail-in ballots will steal the. Ooh, I cannot say that, Monsieur Tiedrick, not on live television. But thank you for your input, sir. I agree with you. But yeah, we'll just. What do you got going on? You thinking about that girl talking about orgasms? She's going bananas over there.
It becomes so much easier. You can do so without the need for tools. You can do so with breath. You can do so with your own 5 fingers. And you can learn to move that energy.
She's basically like talking about softcore porn on YouTube. No community. People talk about it, at least not in the mainstream world, about how sexual energy and erotic energy is like in creative life force energy. So I know I want to access that whenever and tap into it whenever I can. So it takes time to develop those new neural pathways, but once you do, it's so rewarding, and it definitely takes some work to get there if your body is still relearning what it means to feel good in intimacy. But
the journey is worth it. And I promise you it can change, because it's changed for me. I've been through a lot of sexual trauma, and I'm not perfect. However, that is actually something I'm going to get into later. So I'll put a little table on that. 19. Leaning into my deep feminine nature and learning feminine communication changed the game for my relationship. This is a newer that
how be all these guys looking at $100 Ah, what a bummer, man. Just over here, I've got my local Wi-Fi. It's blazing. And then over here, it's up a little now. It's got a indicator on. There's an indicator on the website StreamYard, and it just stays near zero. So it's maybe if I paid StreamYard, they this is the free. I'm using their free transmission service. So I wonder if I actually bought the StreamYard, but then it's a monthly, an additional monthly bill for an already expensive internet that I've invested so much in. Okay, thank God we're back. Miss Mary Moon's out in Happy Land. Good. So do you really want to know what I was listening to? Um, Goal for today's transmission, guys. don't don't be don't let that charlatan try to persuade you into anything. Don't trust Frank Monday. These guys just fight. No, that's not working either. See, as soon as I go live, they just start blocking everything. What a joke! Everything works at like 100% until I take any action on my part. Then everything whoop instantly gets throttled down to a drip, 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 drip. That's all right. They're just trying to challenge my resolve. See if I got what it takes to blast through barrier, their barriers of loathsome inertia and miasma, odious to an extreme. Draconian vagabonds trying to usurp the throne of one's own personal authority and turn you into a Pavlonian idiot, what they call the Goyim. Let me check the chat, guys, see how you guys are doing out in Happy Land. Talking too much for it to handle. It's even funnier because you named it Mercurial Meditations. Yeah, I was trying to bring the fire, the liquid lightning. Marijuana, Ireland, for supporting nature, right? Shows up on the new Neosukalan. Okay. Yeah, so you have to concentrate in order and you must concentrate. Take a deep breath. Exhale on Do it again. Mercurial ancient and powerful magic. Ancient and powerful magic. From the old land of Lemuria, passed down to us in modern times by the son of David, the great wizard King Solomon. Oh, Solomon, grant us an oracle from thine spirits, great Solomon. 72 genii were said to be held in the brass vessel, and only Solomon, Wizard King, could wield them with his ring of power. Ring of power, circle my body, empower me with thine magic. We are back, broadcasting out of Twilight Zone Old Peking from the central kingdom of the celestial dragon. Within a subtle spiritual vortex of energy, we manifest through the great and mighty magic of the dark mirror. If your concentration is great, the portal will stay open. If you become distracted by the ever fluttering and flitting in and out minions of Azahoth, Idiot King swirling at the center of the cosmos, then the transmission will become choppy. Don't partake of too much tobacco. Unless you're seeing better, it's possible. We were talking about Solomon, the Wizard King, and they really want to block my transmission this morning. It happens, 90% of the time. What are you going to do about it? Troll punches on the cut? After shuffling about 5 times, we got both Wizard and King. So there you have it. That's the power of the tarot. You and King tarot. Of the Ordo what great synchronicity. Patrick, Philip, Marcus, Maximilian, whoever you may be, wherever you may be, and whenever you may be. You missed the tarot card of the day. There's your tarot card of the day, Jeff. You missed it a moment ago. We pulled the Wizard King, and now we're pulling cards for individuals. Yours is the 9 of Cups. 9's attainment, fulfillment, and fruition in the area of the emotions. It's a beautiful card. You can see a businessman with all of his wares lined up. This is a business savvy individual who knows how to stack up dollars. And I think that might be you, Monsieur Tidrick. That's your card, man. Let's get the shuffle on. Yeah, it's a fish card, Piscean. I think that's dead center of Pisces, the 9 of Cups. I'm slowly learning astrology's correlations with the tarot, Mary. You have inspired me to try to figure it all out. The 200 trillion, Yodelian. What is it? 222 Yodelian combinations of the zodiacal charts. You've initiated me, neophyte, in the true fool's journey. Now it's going to take me 1,000 lifetimes to figure it all out, and I blame you. I blame you, Mary. You never should have piqued my interest into that dubious, mysterious field of research. But that's okay. I'm a pretty strong intuitive and clairvoyant, so I'll mostly just take a shot in the dark, just stab around in the dark blindly until the God and goddess energies lead me in the right direction, man. I'm in no fucking hurry. A great master once told me he said you should study a serious subject as if you have 1,000 lifetimes. Take your time. Imagine reading one book over a couple of lifetimes. And he said that's a little closer to the truth of the path of a magi. So the books that have made their way, that my intuition has led me to in my collection right now, are more than enough for a couple of hundred lifetimes of study. And if I play my cards right, if I use my magic, then that tradition can be preserved through my bloodline, and I can continue to manifest and re-enter the material sphere in varying bodies of various grades of the same thing. Imagine clones of Frank Monday appearing all throughout time and history. But the real one is here among you right now. All of those other Francis Lunas Aristeases, like what is that guy's name? Jacques Mauvais, was that his name? I don't remember now. Disappeared because I thought about one of my previous manifestations as charlatan. That was a Freudian slip right there, guys. As a charlatan. I always like to think, okay, let me try to catch up with the chat, guys. This choppy transmission is just such a fucking can of worms. Yeah, it's not my internet provider, man. It's the other services they want you to pay for. It's like once a month. You want to, they all want to get paid. Free treat like shit. You pay them, they still treat shit. Already out into it. My kids are going to be getting up soon, and it just is compromised. That's the thing. And so my whole what they are. Yeah, of course. Here's what I'll do. I'll pay for all the services. If it doesn't work, it doesn't help. Then I and I'm pretty sure that's the the funny thing is, a lot of people attribute that to COVID courage. A lot of people attribute this quote to Calvin Coolidge, but he just used it in a presidential campaign. The word originally is because it quoted them beforehand, and then he had the actual manuscript from Latin as the main workbook. Temple workbook for the Hermetic bookstore. Here, a guy named something, but he wasn't Wayne Westcott. And he was an old school guy. Like, so came out of the 18th century. That means that I was choppy as fuck, she says. Yeah, we can do you can go and you guys know all that shit. We're supposed to so but the fact Saturday is my mobile now, which is old. It's on account to 18. Whether or not they decide, I'm in the danger zone now. They were there, they could shit can the entire thing. Pray for me, creation to be valuable. And they it's generating for them too, I'm sure. I've seen the amount of videos to add to the game. Just for you to it's all over here out in Happy Land. Jesus Christ, what a fucking crock of shit. Maybe the mix of shit much is worse. Something strange. Extract messages from the future. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's right. The 14 of the real magic swirling, across which I'm not so for your eye is responsive. Play with it night and day. Way. World. By the likes of Karens over at fucking Boob Tube. What a fucking infuriating horse shit. Postman, the guy who posted the same thing. Actually, the definition of what's the word searching for? Let's see. Just being an idiot. Okay, let's see what Jeff's got to say. I grew up with WWF, and Frank Monday reminds me of the Ultimate Warrior. He destroys Hulk Hogan, and Frank has that tenacity and power. Wow, man, I've, you know, it's crazy. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys a picture of my 17-year-old brother. man bigger than him that like my brother was 6'2", 180 pounds, could bench press 425. When he was 17, he was benching 300. From 16 years old to 17 years old, he was just automatically an ox, just filled with power, born strong physically and mentally. He was a big kid. But he started benching like he laid on 120, which was weight at the time, about 180. And from 15 years old to 17 years old, he went from benching 120 to bench 75, to where he would take all of the weight in the garage and put it on the Olympic lifting bar, and it would bend at the middle. You guys know how I guess but I grew up with a bodybuilder that wanted to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. Smarter than I was great fighter, direction board, powerful swimmer, straight A's high school, working construction with one of my brothers. He was my hero when I was a boy, and he protected me from a lot of bad guys. He was Kyle, the pretty angel. Yeah, nothing I can do about it. I'm just fucking hitting work. No matter what, I try to switch to different VMs. I did jump between 300 connections, and it's all perfect on my side. As soon as it leaves the house, it's being throttled. Right, so here, guys over there, doing it, and it's heartbreaking. It's installed up until March. Everything worked perfect. And when the mandates kicked in, it was game over. Game over. Game over. So we can blame this on the March mandate. And I never did that because that's what launched it. Prior to that, I could live stream and upload shit perfect 24/7. And then when the March mandates kicked in, you guys know what the March mandates are? I'm talking about February. It was announced in February. We're going to roll out a new system. It's in the intelligence community and identify misconception, misinformation, and non-information. That's the thing. And the thing that was contrary to their narrative is building the intelligence. Communication is what it is. In the end, it was launched by the society in USA. They're here in the first credit in EAS out of the USA. They have a thing called March. In March, it was a new world order for the internet. Spectrum dominance. Every camera, everything active in the entire planet would be 24/7 monitoring and monitoring. So it's a big task. They need to build like 5% computers in the US in order to be able to handle the task. Silicone yottabytes all lined up with central brains, like organic living brains, man, that are being fed the soylent green in order to keep their pH tanks. Imagine the mind flayers, the ilithiids, I believe it's ilithiids. Imagine those guys. Once said the incantation of Cthulhu, though, you better back off for a moment and wait for that great dark god, Damon Mysterious to see, to respond to the blah, blah, blah. Everyone give me a Cthulhu salute. Blah, 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 blah. Cthulians align, the stars align, my friends. Have you seen it? I have seen the dark universe yawning. Where the black planets roll, where they roll for name. I'll work on for this Sunday. Kick on that. And even you guys think about the next piece of literature we'll look into for the Sunday story reviews, not books really, not books. Books are large for the format here. Transmission of the book is not happening. You are now standing world voice.
Their cars having nothing in common with earthly life, but moving outrageously amidst backgrounds of such as not being hated, even climax that hit not no death, no doom, no anguish, surpassing despair. Be aware of existence and yet know one is no longer to be rather be no longer to solve. It makes stop agony. You at the breath of the picture the key back door. And yet he can be such a thing as he is equally aware he is alienation themselves. Because I can and they Jesus In the midst of his devastating afflictions, cursed beyond the fragment was hurled. Flesh horror more found for the first time that was confronted and surrounded and prayed. Which the presence seemed all the importance and wise existence of all time and the false is there was no visual image. The often comes from both and even terrorizing ever beyond the limit. The ultimate emanating existence is sweet. Is not which reaches and mathematics alike. Perhaps that it certain secret results from it. Edwards which in the other name the beyond one. Realized how sluggish all conceptions are. And he was addressed in the concentration well not parallel under the curious of ancient monsters especially beyond faith. Songs and words that just compared to interpretations the great terror, one terror, series is somehow still beyond the infinity of duplicates to restore. That's about time here we can translate the waves in speech. And its extension, the ancient ones, sent you as one who would lately have returned to small who has risen to and spirits you may from like a child seeing this light man into the light and most secrets behind all schemes and dreams. To which beings of the planet. To look on which is to blast a feeble spirit, yet before you gaze full at that last and first of secrets, you may still wield a free choice, and return, if you will, through the two gates with the veil still unrent before your eyes. 5. Off of the ways that spirit on every hand, the little glass of the void seemed you that the being was still there. of words whose mental substance he finds exists. Words again are you he heard another word that loses and that which uses and produce the breath of the cosmos. He had never hoped to possess. He was told is the notion of a tridimensional world. What an infinity of groups there are, besides the known directions of the which show the smallness and tinge the emptiness of the little earth gods, their petty human interests and connections, hatred, rages, loves, and vanities, their craving for praise and sacrifice, and their demands for faiths contrary to reason and nature. Most translated themselves words. There were others to which other senses gave their rotation, perhaps with eyes, and perhaps with imagination, that he was in a dimension beyond the conceivable to the eye and brain of man. He saw now the brooding shadows of that which had been first a vortex of power and invisible void, the sweep of creation that busied his senses. From some unpretentious forms, whose multiple extensions transcended any conception of being, size, and boundaries which his mind had hitherto been able to hold despite a lifetime of cryptical study. He began to understand dimly why there could exist at the same time the little boy Randolph Carter in the Arkham Farm in 1883. The misty form of the vaguely hexagonal pillar beyond the first gate, the fragment now facing the presence in the limitless abyss, and all the other Carters his fancy or perception envisaged. Then the waves increased in strength and sought to improve his understanding, reconciling him to the multiform entity of which his present fragment was an infinitesimal part. They told him that every figure of space is but the result of the intersection by a plane of some corresponding figure of one more dimension. A square is cut from a cube, or a circle from a sphere. Cube and sphere of 3 dimensions are thus cut from corresponding forms of 4 dimensions, which men know only through guesses and dreams. And these in turn are cut from forms of 5 dimensions, and so on up to the dizzy and reachless heights of archetypal infinity. The world of men and of the gods of men is merely an infinitesimal phase of an infinitesimal thing, the 3-dimensional phase of that small wholeness reached by the first gate, where what Tawil dictates dreams to the ancient ones. Though men hail it as reality and ban thoughts of its many-dimensioned original as unreality, it is in truth the very opposite. That which we call substance and reality is shadow and illusion. That which we call shadow and illusion is substance and reality. Time, the waves went on, is motionless and without beginning or end. That it has motion and is the cause of change.
That's what I said.
It's an illusion.
Don't know if you can hear me or
It
not.
is itself really an
I'll just
illusion.
type some stuff.
For except to the narrow sight of beings in limited dimensions, there are no such things as past, present, and future. And think of time only because of what they call change. Yet that too is illusion. All that was and is to be exists simultaneously. His revelations came with a godlike solemnity which left Carter unable to doubt. Even though they lay almost beyond his comprehension, he felt that they must be true in the light of that final cosmic reality which belies all local perspectives and narrow partial views, and he was familiar enough with profound speculations to be free from the bondage of local and partial conceptions. Had his whole quest not been based upon a faith in the unreality of local and partial? After an impressive pause, the waves continued, saying that what the denizens of few-dimension zones call change is merely a function of their consciousness which views the external world from various cosmic angles, as the shapes produced by the cutting of a cone seem to vary the angles of cutting, being circle, ellipse, parabola, or hyperbola according to that angle, yet without any change in the cone itself. So do the local aspects of an unchanged and endless reality seem to change with the cosmic angle of regarding. To this variety of angles of consciousness, the feeble beings of the inner worlds are slaves, since with rare exceptions they cannot learn to control them. Only a few students of forbidden things have gained inklings of this control and have thereby conquered time and change. The entities outside the gates command all angles and view the myriad parts of the cosmos in terms of fragmentary change involving perspective, or of the changeless totality beyond perspective in accordance with their will. Waves paused again. Carter began to comprehend, vaguely and terrifiedly, the ultimate background of that riddle of lost individuality which had at first so horrified him. His intuition pieced together the fragments of revelation and brought him closer and closer to a grasp of the secret. He understood that much of the frightful revelation dawned upon him, splitting up his ego amongst myriads of earthly counterparts inside the first gate, and not the magic of Umar al-Tawil kept from him, in order that he might use the zipper key with precision for the ultimate gate's opening. Anxious for clearer knowledge, he sent out waves of
I think I bought this movie in
the exact relationship between its various facets. The fragment now beyond the ultimate gate. The fragment still on the quasi-hexagonal
earlier than that. I'm talking about 85.
of 1880.
This was published
The man in 1928.
while there's not
Various instances
Here we go. 88, 1988. I probably bought it. I started buying these books
of the other eons and other
in
worlds.
87.
This
This is, I already knew about its publications and had several books when this one came out, and I was waiting for it. So,
trying to make plain what was
and
almost
it's
beyond
like
reach of an earthly mind.
14, 15.
All descended lines of beings of finite dimensions continued the ways, and all stages of growth in each one of these beings are merely manifestations of one archetypal and eternal being in the space outside dimensions. Each local being, son, father, grandfather, and so on, and each stage of individual being, infant, child, boy, man, is merely one of the infinite phases of that same archetypal and eternal being, caused by a variation in the angle of the consciousness plane which cuts it. And Alf Carter at all ages, and Alf Carter and all his ancestors, both human, pre-human, terrestrial, and pre-terrestrial, all these were only phases of one ultimate eternal Carter outside space and time, phantom projections differentiated only by the angle at which the plane of consciousness happened to cut the eternal archetype in each case. A slight change of angle could turn the student of today into the child of yesterday, could turn Randolph Carter into that wizard Edmund Carter, could turn today could turn that Carter into 60 strange among those words from Australia. Turn Edmund Carter into one of the earlier entities which in Hyperborea and worship as flying to turn terrestrial to a moon and solar creature of transatlantic strong or four-dimensional gaseous consciousness in an older space or the radioactive in steep orbit, so on, in cosmic cycle. The archives of the waves are of the ultimate bits, formless, ineffable, guessed at